Well, welcome to another episode of The Mouse and Men, where we explore the grown-up side of Disney. I'm here with my co-host, Chris. Chris, how you doing?
I'm good, buddy. How's my boy Bradley Minigan doing?
I'm doing just fine. Better than some of the cast members. Just want to say very sorry to them. Lots of cast members between Disneyland, which at the time is still not open, and Disney World. Tens of thousands laid off just because there's not money going in right there. So very sorry to them for having lost their jobs, hoping that we can get back to the park soon to help bring those jobs back and get those people employed once again with the Disney company. But I'm doing well, excited because we're going to be talking about Germany in EPCOT today.
Yeah, we have tried to stay off of some of the coronavirus headlines over while we've been doing this EPCOT series. But yeah, I think it is nice to take note and to pay our respects for those who have lost their jobs as a result of all of the upheaval that the world is in right now. Across from health issues and layoffs and just everything. I appreciate bringing attention to it. And it makes me a little nervous moving into the future, just what we're going to be facing as Disneyland, as you're saying, still hasn't even opened up in California. Disney World seems to be slowly increasing the amount of people that they're allowing in. But because of the layoffs, what is that going to look like for future times where, again, this is maybe a selfish question to even ask, but when I get to go enjoy myself in Disney World again, are there going to be rides that are closed because they don't have the amount of people there? Or are they just kind of saying that we have to let you go for now? And so this isn't a furlough situation, but please, as soon as we open back up, come back to the company. But who knows what the next few years are going to look like when it comes to places like Disney World that offer so much happiness and excitement for people who go and visit. But in a situation like this, tourism and entertainment specifically, and that's exactly what Disney is, are the ones that are, that at least on the outside, really showing big struggles.
Well, and it's the people who make it magic. It's those cast members who really go out of their way to try to give us as visitors an extraordinary time down there. So we know they are very important. They are very integral to making our time at Disney World so enjoyable. But this week we've already gone through 7 pavilions at EPCOT. Number 8 on our trip around the world is Germany. So I mean, let's dive right in. Chris, what were your first impressions of the Germany Pavilion?
I remember, again, it's been a bit over a year since we actually went through and did all of this, and we were going to be releasing all of these last winter, really. Going to start in January, and then it got delayed a little bit, and then COVID hit, and so we decided to launch this summer. So now it's been a year since we did this Around the World Challenge, and so I remember that day. It was hot. It was like typical August day at Disney World, where at some point in the day it just randomly rains. It's like a little thunderstorm for a while, and then it comes back. But I remember getting to Germany and starting to feel the effects of the day that we were trying to make it around there, to take a lot of videos, take a lot of photos, to experience a lot of things, have drinks at each of the pavilions, try to pack as much in each pavilion as we can before moving on to the next one. And I remember getting into Germany like, whew, this is a day to accomplish this. And we still have 3 or 4 more pavilions to go. So I was hungry. I felt like I was running on fumes. And so we sat on a bench and just people watched for a while and had a snack and had our beverages that I know that we're going to talk about in a second. But I can remember it felt like such a relief just to sit down for a little while and relax. What about you?
Yeah, I think we had to find some shade, because at this point, I think it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. It's hot. It's just barely starting to cool back down, but we're still in the sun most of the day. This pavilion is a little bit smaller than most of the others. We just came from Italy, which goes back a ways, kind of a big town center, town square
Yeah.
kind of feel. This is a much smaller town center feel in this pavilion. We did kind of go near the water, near the little lake there to find some shade and sit at a table, enjoy our beverages, enjoy a German pretzel as well. But I thought the costuming in Germany was some of my favorite because they got the suspender short things.
Yeah.
The lederhosen, I believe is
yeah.
what it's called.
Yeah, we did a little research. Lederhosen, I think, is the official name. And I never knew that it had an official name for the fact that's like the shorts version of it. But there's a longer version as well. I forget the name. What is it called?
You're not going to be wearing that in Orlando very often.
Heck no. Yeah, you definitely have to keep the breeches or the breeches or the shorts or the lederhosen. So yeah, exactly. I don't know if I could even pull off the pants if it was like December in Orlando. So I would be very happy with that outfit.
Well, but I agree. I think I love this pavilion. Just the styling of it with the costuming, I think is great.
Yeah.
I've never been to Germany. I don't know if this is what it would look like if I went there now. I would have to guess that it would look more, I guess like American cities, but a cool little time jump here to go to kind of classic historical Germany, I guess.
Yeah, I can remember, again, never having been to Europe. I don't know a lot of Europe or Asia, so it takes away a lot of the countries that I've actually experienced firsthand. But yeah, I agree. I love just the environment that you're in. There's something about the way that the buildings look, the way that the outfits are, the way that like the flavors of like the beer and the pretzels and all of that, and then the music. It felt so German to me. And again, I know that each of these pavilions is like, it's a taste of Germany from some point in time. So it's not necessarily supposed to be representative of exactly today kind of thing, but I liked being in that world. Just, hearing kind of the polka-y music with the accordion and stuff, while, enjoying some pretzel and mustard. And, I love kind of being absorbed in that world. So it was a great place for us to sit. And even though there wasn't that much, like the pavilion, like you're saying, is smaller, it was definitely a great place to take a load off and just enjoy the environment.
Well, and another thing that I liked is this pavilion. We got to change things up a little bit because it had been, I think we referenced last week, lager around the world.
Yeah.
This stop, we get something different. We got a hefeweizen and a pilsner. Still on the lighter side of beer, and I've mentioned before, I think when we were in the United Kingdom, I love a stout, a darker beer. If you can see through it, and I'm not as interested, but great to change it up here, and it went great with a pretzel. But just, Hefeweizen and Pilsner, Germany is known for beer, and I think they knocked it out of the park with our options in this pavilion.
Yeah, I could be wrong because I know that we had tried some beer and then maybe a cider at a pavilion or two, but I believe that we got 8 pavilions in before we got 2 beers at one pavilion. That was definitely it. So yes, exactly. Germany known for beers and those delicious pretzels, and as well. This episode will be coming out in October, and everybody knows that beer in Germany and everything is, Oktoberfest is, right in this time of the year. So I think it's a good time of year to talk about this, and a nice little way that we ended up in Germany right around Oktoberfest.
Yeah, I think Oktoberfest in real Germany is officially canceled this year just because of the pandemic. But that doesn't mean that we can't have pretzels and beer at home and just enjoy Oktoberfest on our
Absolutely.
I do wish that I was back in the pavilion enjoying enjoying a hefeweizen and a pretzel with mustard. It was a great snack to keep us going. The beer kept us cool as we were able to keep moving around the world.
Hey, good point that you mentioned there about enjoying snacks at home, because I think that this week on Plussing, we're going to be talking about enjoying snacks at home, whether you're home gating or tailgating. We're big college football fans here. And so I think that there's a good tie-in to the fact that even if Oktoberfest is canceled, that we can maybe enjoy some of those festivities at our house, just like a lot of college football this year is canceled as far as going and participating in mass with a lot of different people. But we've tried to keep the joy of both Disney and college football alive with our 2 podcasts that we host.
Yes. So for plussing this week.
Plussing.
I just wanted to bring up something that I found on ESPN Plus. So, like you said, we've got another podcast that's all about SEC football, college football, called Third Saturday in October. If you're a football fan, go check it out. We talk a lot about tailgating and snacks and just hanging out. Less thinking, more drinking is something that we say over there. And that's definitely something that we did around the world here. But if you've got the Disney Plus package with ESPN Plus, you can go in there to their original series. You can go to their college football 150th anniversary section. And there's a series called Saturdays in the South. And I just stumbled upon it, started watching it. But it's really awesome learning how football was a northern sport. It wasn't in the South. Kind of originated out of a post-Civil War. I think just the South trying to find their identity. The first football game played in the South was Georgia-Auburn, but it goes through the first 50 years. The next episode goes through the next 20 years, and then it kind of just leads up into modern times, but talking about the evolution of college football in the South. It's a fun series. Grab a beer, grab a brat, grab a soft pretzel, and enjoy that while you're at home in between Saturdays and between Sunday and Saturday, you need to get your football fix. So watch Saturdays in the South on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, I think that's a great tie-in to our other podcasts. And not only is Oktoberfest this time of year, the namesake of our other podcast is called Third Saturday in October, based on when Tennessee Volunteers and Alabama Crimson Tide officially play, which is our favorite 2 teams that we talk about a lot there on the podcast. But I think that whether it was talking about football or talking about Disney, it all kind of kicked off with you and I driving around the country, just relaying fun messages and talking about, essentially it started around food, really. And so the fact that Germany was the pavilion that we sat down and we started we took a rest, got a nice pretzel in us, kind of rejuvenated ourselves for the rest of the afternoon there in EPCOT. It really ties into the fact that I feel like every time that we get together, we're talking about, okay, what are we going to be eating this weekend? When we were traveling, it was like, okay, what's the next meal? Even at current meals, we'd be sitting there eating, talking about where we're going to go next time. So yeah, I think this is a good tie-in to talk about that, because the festivities around football and around Disney, for me at least, revolve around food.
Right. I'm already dreaming of the day that we get back to EPCOT and you and I eat our way around the world. I don't know what kind of preparation I'm going to have to do for that. I'm going to need to get a second stomach or something. But with going back to Canada, we had the maple popcorn. We stopped in France for, what was it? Ham bone?
Yeah. Fromage at ham bone net fromage.
It was delicious.
Ham and cheese
That's
sandwiches.
What it was. Yeah. And then we have this soft pretzel, just kind of snacking, but man, if we were just getting some sort of snack or splitting an entree at every one of these pavilions, oh, now it may be a while before we can share a plate. We'll just have to cut it at the beginning, have them cut it and serve it to us on 2 plates or something. But I'm hungry just thinking about it.
No, I absolutely agree. I love that our next trip to Epcot is going to be an Eating Around the World challenge. And you're right. I think we're going to need to do something like read the biography of Joey Chestnut or somebody that's won like the hot dog eating championship to just like get some inspiration, maybe watch some cool YouTube power eaters to figure out how to actually maintain that kind of eating throughout an entire day.
Yeah. Unlike the hot dog eaters, I don't think I can dip they dip the bun in the water.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can do that with my soft pretzel. It just, I got to enjoy the pretzel the way it was intended to be enjoyed, with just a little bit of mustard or something on it. So
yeah, agreed. Yeah.
But Chris, thank you for joining me in Germany. What a blast it was this time last year. And again, our hearts go out to all the cast members who have lost their jobs over the last few days. We're going to do our best to get back and create those jobs for you once again.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like that. It doesn't seem like that long ago that we were there, and 2019 seems like a simpler time to just enjoy going to Epcot and just having that kind of fun. So I'm looking forward to being able to do it again soon as well.
Well, until next week, don't grow up too fast,
but keep exploring.